Hello everyone, I'm Cassandra.
And I'm Mom.
And this is Millennial Mom. And in today's video, we are back to recap one of our favorite shows, Love After Lockup, Season 3, Episode 4, Liar, Liar. And I don't know about you, Mom, but I think I already know who they're talking about.
Me too.
So let's get into the video. So the first couple we start with is Chevelle and Quillen. And you know what? I usually don't say this too often with the shows that we recap and review and watch. But I actually really genuinely feel like that this couple is like a real couple. It's not a gimmick. It's not too much for show. It just seems like the love is real. What do you think?
I think the love is real too from Chevelle. I believe that Quillen likes her, but again, he's been in prison since he was a teenager and he needs to sow his oats. So we'll have to see, but I do believe it's genuine though, yes.
So he finally gets out of prison, and I just thought it was such a sweet moment with him and his mom, because she hasn't seen him in like 12 years.
Yes.
Right? So I felt for the mom. I think my eyes were starting to tear up a little bit.
Mine were too.
I didn't drop a tear, but I was just like, oh.
And as far as that's concerned, just being a mom and maybe knowing a little bit about that situation, I can feel what she was feeling. But when Chevelle, when he came out, man, she was like a little kid, wasn't she? Like, oh my God, there he is. And I'm just glad that they had the reunion they were looking for.
Yes, and Quaylen's actually kind of cute.
He had his hair done, right?
He did have his hair done. So as they're driving to the destination, which is their hotel, Chevelle has some questions that she needs to be answered. And one of them in specific is, where is he going to live at?
Good question.
But I think I already know the answer to the question, and it's going to be in H-Town with his mom.
I think so too.
So next we see John and Christiana. Now last week I had a bone to pick with another cast member. This week I have it with John, because I personally think it's super inconsiderate for him to still for him to do the wedding. I know he probably thought it was nice as a surprise, but you know, she didn't get to choose her dress, the venue. He chose her dress that didn't fit. He chose the truck venue. The time was already becoming constrained with 8 minutes to be wed. And after they were wed, even though I was really hoping Christiana was going to go with her gut feeling and not get married, she did anyways.
Yeah, she did.
But after that, we found out that they were 30 minutes late to their drive to the halfway house that was already a 2-hour drive in general. I would have been mad like Christiana.
Well, she's not only mad, she's like, I can't believe this. I'm just getting out. I may have to go back in. But one of the things that was very interesting about this was she's been to that same halfway house 4 out of the 8 times she's been released. And she's saying, like, you know, the same people are in there. She thinks it's a joke. You got the same drug dealers, the same everything. But when she was saying that, I was thinking, okay, but you're the same too. Like, you haven't changed either. You're going back to the halfway house for all the charges that you were sent up for, and you just have to spend your time there. And John is a little apprehensive about this too, because he's like, I hope she does well when she's there. I do too, actually. But when she was on the way to the halfway house, she called her mom. And what I got from that was, okay, Mom, I'm going to call you. I'm out. It came across me like, you know, just in case they send me back. At least you heard from me. That's what I got from that. So when they pulled up 30 minutes late, do you think that the parole officers are going to let her stay at the halfway house, or do you think she's going to be sent back to prison?
I think they're going to let her stay at the halfway house, because it was only 30 minutes late, and I could see them telling the story like, oh, we got married. I feel like they will be a little bit lenient with her.
So now we have Tyrese and Shonda. Tyrese is going to a get-together at his family's house. That's where he's going to tell his cousins, his friends, and his kids about Shonda. They only know a little bit about her, but now they're going to find out not only is she coming home, but she's coming home with him. And when he tells them that she's coming home with them, all hell breaks loose.
Not necessarily.
Yes, with the kids, because the kids aren't with it.
They weren't with it, but the son was like, as long as my dad's happy, I'm going to be happy for him. But I actually felt for Tyrese in this episode because he said the reason why he did this is because, he's getting older. Mm-hmm. He's never really settled down before. The only time he did was when he was 30 and he got divorced. He was feeling lonely. And I was like, oh, I was feeling for him a little bit. You weren't?
No. No, I wasn't. Because, last week's episode, he said he saw an ad on his phone he was scrolling through. Okay, so you're scrolling through and you've prison.com or whatever you found her on. And so that's how you met. You've only known her for 2 months. And since from 30 to 49, that's 19 years, you're trying to tell me that you haven't found anyone that you felt was quality? Because clearly your best friend Tangi might be liking you on the low.
Well, I guess that's not his cup of tea. But I was in agreement with his daughter because she was basically like, I'm going to roll with it for now. We just have to see how everything's going to go because, she's our age. She's even close to my age.
Well, the son is 28 and that is your brother's age.
Right. And the daughter's 25 and that's close to my age.
Right. So,
only they know what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. But if that was you, Mom, you already know I wouldn't be with it. That's not even up for discussion. Me or my brother. So next we see Shawn and Destiny. So she's out. And once again, I don't think she looks as big as Shawn tried to make it seem like she was. Actually, to me, I was like, that kind of looks like his baby mama. Without the same hair color.
Maybe.
That's what I thought. But they're on their way so Shawn can meet Destiny's mom and sister. Mm-hmm. And Destiny so far seems to really like him. She doesn't seem like she's pulling any stunts or gimmicks once again. She actually seems like she's really here for him.
Yeah.
But Shawn on the low was like, apprehensive because he's the liar in this episode.
You figured it out?
You knew I knew that from jump. Because I didn't understand why, once again, he chose to go on inmate.com or whatever it is. I haven't looked it up. To find someone because he doesn't want someone to lie to him or be dishonest. Mm-hmm. But he's the same person who done so.
Exactly. He wants someone... I don't know what, honestly. His story just doesn't add up, and I think as the show progresses...
We're going to find out some things.
Oh, for sure.
I'm happy to find out some things, especially for the baby mama, because I think she has all the tea and recipe for us to know. So we finally get to see her mom and sister. I'm like, yeah, they're family.
Yeah, they look alike.
They all look alike. Mm-hmm. And they had a nice conversation. But the conversation really started when Destiny and her sister went to the bathroom to go change really quick. Mm-hmm. And Shawn was left with her mom. And her mom had all the questions because she was like, this has been my hardest child to deal with. And I felt for her too.
Yeah.
Because she tried everything with her. But, you can't make a horse drink water even though you lead it to the water pit. Is that how the saying goes?
You can't... You can't lead a horse to water and make it drink. Something like that.
Well, I was close. So that's basically where she was getting at. So she was like, this kind of seems suspicious to me. This older gentleman trying to get with my younger daughter from a prison site. Mm-hmm. Like, for what reason? Like, what was he looking for in her? What would you think, Mom, if that was me?
I would think he was looking for, vice versa, someone younger, someone who could take on the role of mom for his kids, something, I don't know what. Destiny's mom was like, so how many kids do you have? He was like, 6. She was like, 6? I thought you only had 2. He was like, yeah, well, in the beginning I didn't want to tell her everything about me. I didn't want to kind of run her off. I'm thinking, if she's going to get run off, she's going to get run off. Mm-hmm. And then the mom said, so what's your intentions with my daughter? He said, well, I want to marry her. And she's like, don't you think it's too soon? He was like, no, well, if it happens, it happens. And I was like, no, it's kind of too soon because you haven't taken care of anything with your other kids for right now.
Well, that's not his focus or priority. Only thing that Shawn focuses on, clearly, is Shawn.
Yeah. So now when Destiny and her sister come back from changing into the clothes that he bought her, we learned that Destiny don't like those clothes, so she didn't change after all.
Mm-hmm. That's what you got out that whole thing?
Yeah.
No. That wasn't even the most important part. It was when we found out his real age.
Well, that was after, because when Destiny said that she didn't change in clothes, she was like, oh, like, psh, I didn't like it. And Shawn said, oh, she's abusive. She also hit me in the car. And her mom was like,
oh, yeah, because he said that would be elderly abuse. And they were like, oh, well, you're not even close to that age. You know, that's like more my mom's age. And they were like, well, so how old are you? He's like,
right.
You heard the question, Shawn, how old are you? And he said 46. And she was like, huh? I thought you said 32. And he was like, no, that's what you assumed. I just ran with it. She's better than me because I didn't guess 32 at all. I said 55.
Well, he looks older than his stated age, but when you have met someone in person and just on that website, you could say...
Oh, on the phone?
Yeah.
Right. So how is he supposed to know? Unless he sent her pictures. But he didn't disclose all that.
Well, she was surprised, and Destiny was like, I don't know what else he lied about, because he lied about his age. What else is there? Well, girl.
There's more to know, and I'm very curious to see and know when you're going to find that out. So then we finally get back to Scott and Lindsay. So it appears that Lindsay didn't show up.
No, she was not on that plane. Were you surprised?
No, because we saw her confessionals. It'd be different if we didn't see the confessionals already. But we kind of, well, at least I kind of felt there was something going on from the confessionals. But he did something that I suggested in the last episode. Even though I know he can't hear me and everything's already taped. I was like, how come he just didn't call the people to find out? That would have been the easiest, simple, time-saving, limo money saving, steak money saving, cake money saving, gas saving, everything saving trip.
I mean, you just checked off this whole list.
I checked off some of the lists.
But Scott said that he had an itinerary, and he should have double-checked the itinerary when Lindsay called the time before.
Wasn't that like a week or two?
Whenever it was, but she didn't even call her mom to let her know about the halfway house because they're driving to meet them at the halfway house. So when he does finally call the Bureau of Prisons to see if Lindsay's been released or any information, he has to call the next day. I mean, it's after hours. Wouldn't you think he was going to find out?
He expected to know today, but I'm like, you should have found out before you even done everything.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah. But the highlight of the whole episode was the limo driver. He was just a bright, positive, optimistic light, and he was fed some food. I was like, go ahead.
You might as well eat it. I mean, it's bought and paid for. The cake wasn't going to last, so you might as well eat it and enjoy it. And the limo driver was encouraging to Scott when he picked him up at the airport, even after, because he was saying, you know, are you sure it's not a scam? And Scott was like, no, I believe in this. So he just kind of helped him out.
I mean, the food did look good. I would have been extra nice, too.
Well, Scott's going to have to find out in the morning if Lindsay is on the next plane or if she's been still in prison.
Right. Where is Lindsay? So for our last couple, we have Jessica and Maurice. So Maurice wants to go to his parole officer.
No, he doesn't want to go. He's going.
Well, same thing. He just wants to get away from everything, all the area and all that stuff. And Jessica's like, yeah, it is nice out there. But luckily for you guys, we live in Vegas. So we're going to give you some tea really quick. Just because he's moving from LA to Vegas doesn't mean it's going to be a difference. Because one, there's a hood everywhere. If he wants to find trouble in Vegas, he can find trouble in Vegas.
You know, it's not about being in a hood or not in a hood or wherever you live. Maurice said he has 2 strikes, and there's a 3-strike law in California. And there's some states that do have that. So one of the reasons why he wants to get away is because he doesn't want to maybe get back in trouble or go with the same crowd. And on top of that, Jessica is here. Her job is here. Her house is here. He just wants to relocate for a change of scenery and a better opportunity.
Well, in all, I just want Maurice to do better because it seems like he wants to do better, but at the same time, he also seems like he's kind of like stuck in his old ways. But maybe because he's just getting out, he needs some time to adjust. We're going to give him some time on that.
Well, once they get to the parole office, they go in, and next thing you know, 30 minutes later to come out, he's upset. Clearly, the paperwork didn't go through. He has to wait at least 60 days to find out if he can be transferred here to Vegas. And he calls his auntie and he's like, Auntie, you know what? They screwed up, just going off. I can understand him being upset, but I mean, if you have to wait 60 days is nothing compared to the time that you were in prison.
Yeah, but that's a long time to lay low and not be with his woman. Because where's she going to stay at? I know she's going back home.
Well, whatever she has to do, he has to wait to come. But as they're leaving the parole office, it looks like he wants Jessica to keep driving.
I think he's just joking. He can't be serious.
I don't think he's joking, but
I do.
You do?
I think he's pulling our leg.
Yeah, he's serious. He said, you're either with me or you're against me. What else is there to know?
I guess we gonna have to see. All right, everyone. So that was the end of this week's episode. Once again, there wasn't really too much going on with this episode. Like this season, I don't know. I think it needs to build up a little bit. I think it will as soon as we see people settling down, whether they're here or in Vegas, for both couples. I'm ready to see the new couple because the dude, he kind of look cute.
That's what you're waiting on?
Yes, what are you waiting for?
No, I think today was a decent build-up because we learned that Lindsay went on the plane, Maurice can't come to Vegas, Destiny found out how old he is, and Christiana was late to the halfway house. So we've had a little bit of drama. We just needed to lead into more what's going to happen with their lives.
Well, let us know what you guys thought about this episode in the comments down below. So thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. You also share this video to other people who watch Love After Lockup. And you also subscribe to our channel because we're going to do something special really soon for our subscribers.
Thank you all for watching. And as always, live simply, be grateful.